Look at this dream team over here. Even might be a Steveless. He's comatose on the Jan. What's that thing that's in Turkey that made Seinfeld fall asleep?
Now you're asking me for scientific terms at 9 p.m.
Scientific terms, we can't really do it.
I can't do it.
Right? Is that what it is?
And what was it?
Tryptophan.
There you go.
There, you see, he's got the brains. He's got the brains, Franco. But guys, President is in the green room and he's watching us. So we got to make sure we behave. To everybody in the comments, please behave as well. Let's get the show on the road, guys. Let's get it on the road.
Welcome to the Milan Weekly Podcast, the English voice of Milan fans all over the world, with your hosts, Vinny T and Stevie P.
Benvenuti nella casa
Giroud in area, si gira, sinistro, rete, gol capolavoro di Olivier Giroud.
Mignon with another magical save.
Mamma mia, Teo Hernandez, coast to coast, del numero 19.
Leao carica il mancino. Eccolo qua, Rafa Leao.
Il Milan è campione d'Italia.
Cari amici sportivi, welcome yet to a special edition of the Milan Weekly Podcast. Here we talk everything Milan, take 5 starters away from Milan and see how good they're going to be, Milan. And big game tomorrow, Milan in the Champions League. We got Jan, we got Franco from New York, Stevie P, he got drugged by the turkey. He's playing with somebody's toys a la Seinfeld. But who better to have, our intern, Jan. By the way, Jan, your check is in the mail. That's what the Presidente was saying. He's in the background, by the way. And don't forget, we need to be on our best behavior. I needed to invite Franco over because, they like to do big things in New York, big things. And, he made sure that the event was okay once the Fantes were coming over, because without the Fantes, you can't make this kind of party. Franco, welcome for the... third, fourth time. You're a recurring guest. You know what? Pretty soon, President is going to put you as an intern as well. But welcome once again.
That's a tough task, being an intern on this show. But thank you. Yeah, I think it's either 4, maybe even 5 at this point. I've been here a couple of times. I enjoy it. So thank you for having me again.
As soon as Steve said he couldn't make it, I go, don't worry, Franco is like, okay, I'm in good hands, and we trust you. Presidente trusts you to be on your best behavior. But before we get into the event this weekend that happened in New York, Presidente, by the way, guys, he showed up late at home. He had to rush to do the thumbnails. He got us our slides. Jan, for Milan Club Montreal, we had a little contest for renewing members and new members. Now, for these beautiful vintage jerseys, which Franco probably has the originals ones from the 80s that are worth probably 300 to 400 euros each. But congrats to Gianni Allo, Franco Lipari, Massimo Capello. Guys, you need to go see Mario at his shop. This is a first come, first serve. Whoever shows up first gets first dibs. Congratulations to them. If you need to know where Mario's place is, please contact Presidente through email, through fax, through Morse code. He will let you know.
I was going to say fax, Vinny, would be a better way to contact Presidente. Email. They're going to wait 4 days
yes,
for a reply.
definitely from there. So congratulations to those guys. And speaking of Milan Club Montreal, we had a great event last week. We went to Burgundy Lion, met Paulie D, who he likes to be called Paulie D, but actually one of the owners of Burgundy Lion, Chelsea Club. We had such a great time. Loved watching the games with some Chelsea fans. Guys, I will be there tomorrow. We're doing L'Andata e il Ritorno. Looks like Presidente will be wearing a Chelsea jersey unless Milan come up with 4 goals. Franco, you're going to be seeing Presidente in a Chelsea jersey. What do you think?
That's brutal. I don't know if I'd be able to commit to a bet like that. We share a bar. We share a bar with the Chelsea club. So unfortunately, nobody offered any types of friendly club to club.
You wouldn't have taken that bet, would you?
Oh man,
wearing a Chelsea jersey is not that bad. It's not like asking you to wear an Inter jersey or something.
Right. Maybe I would have gone for it. It's true. It's Chelsea. There's a lot of Italian connection with it. So it's not terrible. We're friendly with them in the bar. It's fine.
There we go. But Presidente, we'll see. But guys, he asked for the medium size because he needs to look buff. Now, Franco, it came out a couple of weeks ago. Big event in New York. Now, you guys, we wanted to do this event Rock Nation style. You got Florenzi, Facebook Frank showed up, but we needed to top you off because we had Presidente, not the stunt double. Jan can confirm Presidente was at our event with Junior Presidente and Little Presidente, but okay, maybe second best compared to your event. But Franco, talk to me about. I know it started on Friday. We saw pictures from David. We saw pictures from Mark on the Friday with the Scudetto. If you could just tell us a bit about this whirlwind of a weekend that you guys went through.
Yeah, I mean, the planning of this event started about 3 months ago, like towards the beginning of the season, so maybe 2 months ago. And yeah, Milan came to us and they said, we want to come back. We really like the event that we put on last year with Rock Nation. Obviously, Rock Nation is a company that belongs to Jay-Z, and he also has a bar in New York City that's the 40/40 Club. And so, everything kind of ties together in that sense. And then with the Puma partnership, they decided to also have a trophy event on Friday night, the night before the game, where fans had the opportunity to go to the Puma store, purchase some merchandise, but also take a picture with the Serie A trophy. A decent amount of people showed up to that, considering the short notice. They actually didn't give much of a heads up on that event, but a lot of people also held off because they knew they were going to come by on Saturday. They had the opportunity to see the trophy during the game on Saturday as well. But it was a nice little touch. If somebody wanted to see the trophy a little more up close and personal, that event at the Puma store was actually really, really nice. And it was nice of the Philly club and the Boston club to attend that one as well.
And I know we saw some pictures, yeah, and I'm sure you saw the pictures online, to see. It was great to see that whole, would it be a lineup, and seeing our friends Mark, our friends, the Fantas, as Steve would like to call them, with a great event. And you know what? It just shows to everybody, North America, man, we are here. There's not just Asia. No offense to our Milan brothers and sisters in Asia, but North America's here, man. We're here to support, right?
Yeah, I think that's something that we really set out to do, especially this time around. We kind of had a similar event last year, but there were things in place that limited the success of the event. In New York City, there was still a vaccination mandate to enter bars and restaurants, and it was actually the very day before that the U.S. opened its borders fully for travel, so people from Milan couldn't come. Obviously, you guys, wouldn't have been able to come and stuff like that. So between the winning of the Scudetto and all that kind of stuff, the situation was much different this year. Last year, we had 296 people.
Wow.
And when they asked what we thought we would be able to get this year, I said, just feeling things out and the hype behind the team and everything else that's going on, I'm like, I think we could get significantly more than that. The weeks leading up to the event, obviously I reached out to you guys first, the various clubs around North America. And that's one thing that our club, the Milan Club of New York City, wanted to really say thank you to. So to Dave and Angie and the Philly Club, Mark and his gang up in Boston, when we said, hey, this event is happening, they didn't even blink. They booked, train tickets and hotels. And it wasn't just to come and be a part of the event. It was to come and lend a hand. And I don't want to get into personal conversations between you and I, Vinny, but
you may.
I want people to know that we know how much of an effort you made to get down here. You couldn't get down here, but people know how much of an effort you made to get, and
I tried
holiday weekend with you guys and all that kind of stuff and all the other things going on in personal lives. We just appreciate people's willingness not to come and be a part of it so they can be seen, but to actually say, what do you need? in terms of help. You know,
It
big
really,
shout
it
out
really, yeah, meant a lot to even see like whether it be Dave or Mark, what do you need, right? It wasn't even you asking for help, and yeah, now I'm gonna ask you, like, this brotherhood and sisterhood of Milanistas around the world, even like the people that we saw on Saturday at the game that we never seen before, we embraced them like they were brothers, and this is what it's all about, is it not?
Yeah, of course. It was very nice to see actually at the Chucharos a lot of faces that we know are not part of the club, but that's not the point. I mean, if you're part of the club or not, it's the fact that people showed up. The fact that 3 people showed up with suitcases from the airport in Montreal because they did a Google search and they found out that there's a Milan club watching a game at Chucharos. To me, was like
One guy was
the
from
highlight of
English
my
with
day. I'm like,
California, his girlfriend from England. No, we wanted to come over
there
here.
was
We
a
gave
third
him-
guy in the corner that had a suitcase too. I didn't ask him where he was from, but I said welcome. He was just happy to be there, and I was like, like to me, that was my highlight of the weekend: seeing 3 suitcases at Chocharos, along with all the other people. And I think that's what Franco's saying is like, there's a big community here in North America. It's kind of been ignored, but it's kind of like Milan's been ignored. It's kind of like a sleeping giant for marketing for them over here.
You know,
Once they tap into it, it's going to be something huge for the club.
even Franco's, even the pictures that people were posting, women, men, every different color, every different whatever. Like, it was great. And then I'm sorry if Fabio, I don't know if he had a couple of drinks because Presidente put him on strict orders. Don't embarrass us, Fabio. Make sure. But he was live. He was live videoing from on the Facebook machine, on the Twitter. Looks like he had a good time. And I want to say thank you to it was Mark, even Facebook Frank that was there representing the Montreal scarf. I was there. Thank you, Franco, for hanging up. And I saw that picture of I think Mark made a meme out of it that you told him, I want these scarves placed at 15 centimeters away from each other, and then you gave him the look. Did he follow? Did he follow through, Mark, or was he one of those students that really didn't pay attention?
Mark is one of those scutchy students. You know, he's class clown. You know, he's one of the funniest people I know. But yeah, in the classroom, he needs a little, you know. But you mentioned Facebook Frank. He was the other one that I really wanted to thank because, you know, being a holiday weekend in Canada, Facebook Frank took the time to get on a plane the morning of the event and actually flew home that same evening. That's an incredible amount of dedication. You know, we that's things that don't go overlooked, and it certainly didn't go overlooked by Milan either. And the weeks leading up to the event, you know, you guys just spoke about it. Men, women, people of different color. I think they really took notice. And in the weeks leading up, in the amount of DMs that we were getting as a club, in the amount of people reacting to the announcement, I said to them, I am pretty confident that we're going to get much more than we did last year. So last year we had 296 people. This year we ended up with 550.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that place was packed. That place was packed. The atmosphere was insane.
I'm looking at those videos, and you know what? Take me through the moment of seeing yourself at the San Siro big screen. You're there. You could see Facebook Frank. You could see a couple of the guys just there behind Florenzi, and you're leading into a chant of Ale Milan Ale. And in which world did you think that this was ever going to happen?
I love explaining that to Italians who come here, or even just the people from Milan and their staff. I was like, you know, when we were 5, 10 years old, you know, I'm going to be 40 this year. Like that was unheard of. I didn't even thought I'd make it to San Siro, like up until I was like 20. So to be able to do something like that, it was something that they had told us about a couple of weeks ago. And they said the original idea was to do it live, but it was like impossible. And so when we found out that Florenzi was coming, they're like, he's going to read something. And then when he finishes speaking, you guys are going to start the chant. And they're like, which one do you want to do? I'm like, oh, we got to do Fratello to Vincerai. I'm like, everybody knows it. It's going to be powerful. And then, you know, in the stadium, they'll be able to hear it too. Never in my wildest dreams did I think people in the stadium would then follow the chant. That when I saw that video, we had 3 committee members that were actually at the game. They weren't here for the event. They went to the game. So awesome. we got that video right away. And just to see that, it was just that was a highlight more than anything else that happened this weekend. But
memories for a lifetime, no, Frank?
Yeah, on a personal level. I think from a club level, this event was an incredible success.
Why did you put Mark in detention? He didn't follow. He didn't follow. Like, was he drinking? He like, how were the scars placed?
He wasn't
Like,
drinking
you know, remember
enough.
like in casino,
He wasn't
I want
drinking
an
enough.
equal amount of blueberries in each muffin. I want an equal amount of distance between each scarf. Mark, don't screw up, man. You know, but it's okay. A couple of even Mark, I gotta say thanks, because even him, he reached out. He's like, Vinny, it doesn't look like maybe, you know, the other guys from Boston are coming. You have a free bed for in your room if you can make it down here. And no pezzo di pane, veramente no pezzo di pane. You guys, like, this community is really fantastic. I can't say anything more to describe this kind of feeling. And whether it goes from New York, from Montreal, from Toronto, even like, you know, you're saying Facebook Frank, what a dedication, just flying in, flying out, and what a day that he spent there. How was Florenzi? I saw he went to Yankee Stadium there. He probably has no idea what the hell he was doing over there with the Yankee. But people from Yes were there, people from Milan. But Florenzi, did you get to a little chit chat with him?
Yeah, very brief little chit chat. You know, it was very, you know, it was so many people everywhere, and you know, we're trying to get the event going too. Really, really cordial. You know, just really chill guy. What you see is what you get with him. Really just down to earth, respectful. And he was just, you know, he was happy to be part of the event. You know, he welcomed the crowd. He had a nice little welcome message for everybody. Willing to take pictures. He had a nice little autograph. Like, he signed a bunch of little cards as well that a few people were able to.
And Meta World Peace, did he say Forza Lotte vincerai? What was he?
So Meta World Peace, like, all of a sudden the CBS guy comes up to me and he's like, I know you guys are watching the game because it was in the middle of the game, but they're like, Ron Artest is about to walk by. We just need you to like do one of these, like, behind the camera. We're like,
you're like, who?
I'm like, did he just say Ron Artest? And the guy next to me, like, went to high school with him because Ron Artest is like a Queens guy. He's like, he said Ron Artest, and there he is, like, big, tall Meta World Peace, like, walking across the bar, scarf across him. I found out today on like one of Martino Puccio's posts that he's actually a Milan fan, like, for real, like, not through sponsorship. I'm going to be a Milan fan today because of Kobe. So he became a Milan fan because of Kobe, apparently. So that's a cool little factoid.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he was really cordial. Like, stopped for a picture and was like happy to be there. So
that's. Just want to know about Florenzi's English. Better, funnier, or less funny than Bernardeschi's?
Less funny, less funny, and better. And better. Okay. It's funny because the Rock Nation guy was prepping him for the video that we were going to make for San Siro, and Rob Simpkins is the Rock Nation guy. He's totally British, like straight Brit. And he's explaining to him everything in English. He's like, okay, you're going to pull your microphone through your shirt here, and then we are going to start. We're going to point at you. And so from the back, I say to him, I'm like, Alessandro, come va con l'inglese? And he just turns to me, he's like, "La cavo, okay." And he actually was. His English was very good. He actually made part of his welcome message to the crowd in English. It was quite impressive.
Awesome. Nice.
That's awesome. And you know what? To many more of these events. Hopefully, next time situations will be different. Presidente's helicopter will be available for us to come down, and you don't schedule it in a Comic-Con weekend, long weekend where
holiday weekend in Canada,
holiday weekend. But you know, there's Raw in Brooklyn. I would have been able to make a whole weekend out of it, but we'll see for next year.
You would have emptied the bank account too.
The bank. It could have been worse that we would have lost against Juventus. But let's take it to this game, gentlemen. I wrote down in the Patreon chat, and even in the description. Yeah, I'm gonna take it to you first, and I'm gonna ask Franco's opinion. Was this a thing of Juve being so fucking poor? Or was it Milan having the right answer to the tactics? And I'm going about how Vlahovic barely touched the ball. Forget his mistake there on the goal. It just seems like, you know, the Christmas tree. People will say, who cares about formations? Or was it just Milan playing as a team?
Well, I was thinking about this before the show. I'm like, you know, a few years ago, beating Juve, you're like, wow, is it going to happen? Oh my God, we beat Juve. Now you beat Juve, and it's like, it's on par with beating Sassuolo with me. Actually, I'm more scared of beating Sassuolo. So now, to answer your question, I think we saw it. I forget who put it on Twitter, but at about the 10-minute mark, the Whippo Bega started cutting off lanes. Juve had no more answers for that. The fact that you're forcing Vlahovic to play with 4-4-2 to track back, set up space for Milik, I think you're wasting his talent. But again, this is Allegri. I don't know. People tell me he's a good coach. I think he's in the Minestra di Scaldata. It's a bit of the same old ideas, but they don't have the personnel. And, even with our injuries and the voodoo that he put on us to have 5 infortuni and all that stuff, I wasn't really going into this match worried. I just think, when we play Juve, if you get through that first 10 minutes and there's not a big blunder, they're not that difficult to beat. They were always behind the ball. What I was worried about, and I saw it often, we were giving the ball away to them. But fortunately, they didn't really capitalize on any of those. Maybe, look, if we were playing in Turin, could have been a different match.
Could have been a different, definitely.
But we're not going to play that kind of game. So I think the tactics were fine. I like that he changed up the formation. But again, I'm one of those guys, formation, it's something they put on so the apps have something to show, because throughout the game, it's fluid, right? They even showed it in Gazzetta. It was more like a 4-5-1-1 that they were playing. So a 4-5-1. So it's like, I don't know. I don't want to put too much emphasis on our tactics really beat this. Juve is not a very good team right now. So I'll take the 3 points. I love seeing them lose. It gets me to text my brother and some friends and be like, what happened today? But they're all very quiet. But I don't think it was really much more than that. I mean, the same lineup, but the same type of intensity and those mistakes against Chelsea, we still would have lost, I think, because there's still mistakes happening, which is normal with a lot of starters that don't usually play together. So we got the 3 points. It's important, and morale is very important. I think, we need to get some sort of result up tomorrow against Chelsea, and I think this will lead us in the right direction. Where we're going to get it, I don't know. Chelsea's not Juventus.
Look, it's at least we're going on the right mindset, Franco. The first, Khaled was saying, I don't know if it's Khaled or a newest Patreon member on the comments, but first 15, 20 minutes, it was a lot of back and forth. They looked a bit more, dangerous, if I would say. But on a team like we see here, Tiramisu, would it be even Gabbia? Tomori had a hell of a game, and it's been a while he had a hell of a game. But it just seems to me, Jan is saying, I'm not surprised beating Juventus. To me, it was surprising to see how after 20 minutes, we completely dominated them. And yes, we like to make fun of Juve, but we shouldn't be dominating this team the way we did. And do you go by, is it because of formation? Is it just because of Juve sucking that bad? Or we just had the perfect tactics?
I like what Jan said. I mean, a formation is only on paper. Things morph, whether you're offensively or defensively, things morph into different formations. Things morph after a certain sub comes on. So I don't think formation has anything to do with it. I think it has to do with the character of the team and the morale of the team right now that carried them, especially like you mentioned, like the first 15 minutes, we were getting stretched out. There was a big space in front of our backs. Tonali and Benacer were getting stretched, and all of a sudden there was space in front of the backs. But the defenders handled it well. Juve wasn't able to take advantage. I think Milik had one chance at one point that was a little bit of a scare. But after that, like, we took over the game. It's a mixture of both. It's hard to answer the original Patreon question. Was it because Milan was that good or Juventus was that bad? I think we'll find out tomorrow if Jan is right. Because what I do like from this game is we were able to play our game from the 15th minute on.
And the difference too, Franco, when was the last time after Chelsea's loss that you saw a coach and the players coming out and said, we played like shit, non abbiamo giocato da Milan? Usually you would have a bit of an excuse, so that's why I have a bit of confidence tomorrow. I'm not saying we're going to beat them, but if we could get some sort of result, especially in this Champions League, but at least the performance that we did is definitely, it can't hurt us for tomorrow, right?
I think the formula is right to get the result. Number one, it's a quick turnover, which sometimes helps. You're at home. So last week you were away, but now you're at home. So you have that. You just beat a main rival, which is always, invigorating, and it gets the team going. And I think Pioli made some really good subs too. I like how he was confident enough in his substitutions to take people off at the 57th minute and the 63rd minute like it shows you that he really knows what his lineup is going to be tomorrow. You know, he already knew on Saturday. He's like, okay, I think this game is already in hand. I'm confident enough to make these subs this early on in the second half because we got a game to worry about on Tuesday. So I think we have a good shot to get a result tomorrow. Do I think we can absolutely win? I think that would be very irresponsible to say.
But we got a shot.
But the formula is right at this point in time. With all those factors that we just mentioned together, there's quite the possibility that we can get some type of result tomorrow.
I also think the fact that we see, let's be honest, Kalulu's a right back.
Yeah.
You see the qualities are like he's just so much more dynamic on that right side. And the one default that he has as a center back is those crosses, and you're not going to see that as a right back. So I think automatically you put him there instead of Serginho Dest. Gabbia had a good game. I was even telling you, Vinny, at the bar. I didn't notice Gabbia until the 80th minute. That means it's a good game for Gabbia because that's his role. You stay tight to your attacker. You don't make a mistake. You let Tomori roam around and run around. So could this be the year that we finally see something from Gabbia, that we have a bit of confidence? I think we'll see tomorrow because he should be starting tomorrow.
Probably.
And, like, to me already that, I don't want to, like Franco said, I don't want to say we have a better chance tomorrow. Already there. Just those little changes right there on that right side, it's going to help because we were getting eaten alive on either side, man, against Chelsea. Like, we had no answers for them.
Right, and then you get Theo back on the other side tomorrow.
Guys, I know Steve's not here, but he did ask a question on Twitter, and I wanted to ask you guys, what did you guys think of what was Bonucci doing on the Diaz goal? Sheriff, was he trying to draw a charge?
Voleva cambiare l'aria, as he said, right?
The CR7 celebration, sculpture modeling won it with 47.7%, and other one was 6%. Guys, on a serious note, what the fuck was that? Franco, do you have any explanation? Was he did he think that Diaz was gonna bump him? And then Diaz is what, 5'2", 110 pounds all wet? He was gonna draw a foul?
Yeah, maybe he was trying to think that Diaz is like his own teammates that would rather look for the foul than keep a play going because they're a bunch of crybabies and they'd rather look for the foul than actually play good soccer. And
Jan, it's, you know what, that play, even though they got stopped,
there's more to that play though than in that tweet. So first off, Milik was the guy that's only scoring goals for you, is the guy running back and almost slide tackled him to perfection. I would have questions for my three midfielders that are supposedly offline. At that point, wasn't the one on? Was Miretti on at that point? Maybe not. But
the one,
to me, as a Juve fan, that's concerning. Even more so than Bonucci looking like a statue over there, because Bonucci probably got radioed in that Ron Artest was at the 40-40 club. You want to show how he can do the block, like in basketball when you pinch again. So I think that's what he got. He got a little text on the side. He's like, show up for Ron Artest. But I would be more concerned as a Juve fan that my striker's coming back to make a defensive play like that. That's pathetic. Like, Locatelli is supposed to be good at that kind of stuff. Rabiot, he was tweeting around that he wants to be the leader of this team, but I don't know. To me, that's more concerning, that your striker has to come all the way back to your box to make a play like that.
Then Vlahovic's mistake on that pass to Diaz.
But what do you want, Vlahovic? Come on,
I'm not saying I'll troll Çalhanoğlu with those two passes he made in the derby and against who did he do it against in the Champions League. But now looking at the way it's going, Juventus, Franco, they couldn't have asked for a better result the last game in the Champions League, right? Top two teams tying, they're winning. They first of all, they ain't firing Allegri. I don't know what anybody's thinking that who they're gonna go get. Gianpaolo. So they need to win. Tomorrow, we need a result. We need a result. They need to win. But they ain't going. It's not because these two wins. I think even Allegri came out and said it's like these two wins really masked how bad we were. Or the Bologna. Okay, because you beat Bologna 3-0, or you beat they have no choice to bounce back. And tomorrow it's the Olri game. If I'm not mistaken, Juventus playing at 12:45 Eastern time. So mangio panettone, Allegri.
Yes, because they can't afford it. They can't afford to fire him. Just like Inter and Simone Inzaghi, they can't afford it. So yes.
Se lo mangio il panettone. Jan, are we betting another beer?
No, it's too big to fail, man.
Yeah. We're going to come up with other bets.
There's no point.
The best of
The only
Franco
look, if they do get rid of him, it's going to be one of those three Pagliacci at the top that are come down to be the interim caretaker, either Nedved or Paratici, or one of those idiots over there. Paratici's gone, sorry, Arriva Bene or whatever. Look, these guys, the guys that came in now to help for Juve, they don't have an easy job. They inherited a lot of mistakes from the one-eyed monster that went to Inter. And that guy there likes to, give out the big contracts and then lets the next guy deal with it, which I think most managers do in any professional sports. I'm going to sign my guys. It's going to be the next guy's problem. They don't have an easy job. And no matter how much money Agnelli and Fiat and Excon and all these people want to put in to balance their books, ça va pas être facile pour eux autres. For those who don't speak French, it's not going to be easy for them. So.
Definitely not. Guys, I'm sorry I don't have... actually, you know what? Jan, speak amongst yourselves. I think I have something here to entertain our millions and millions of viewers. Because Steve is not here, right? Steve's not here.
You said it in a voice note.
Hold on a second. Is this the one? No, that's not the one.
No,
that's not the
one.
Not
the one. That didn't happen, actually.
Which
surprisingly.
One is it?
Orsato had a good game. Surprised.
No, I'm trying to find. I'm trying to find the. I'm trying to find la fanfare, the tromba, the tromba de squil. Where is it? Gosh darn it! I don't think I have it anymore, guys. But you know what? This is always a good one.
Yes.
So we're gonna pretend that there's the trompette. Sassuolo Inter was a entertaining game. Watched a bit of this one. Was 1-1. Inter Dzeko. Guys, you want to make fun of Dzeko all you want. He gets the job done. Franco, did you watch a little bit of this? I know you probably have like 6 pages of notes in front of you. He had to get prepared. Guys, I need to tell Franco at least 3 days in advance before he gets the. I need to go take a look at the highlights. Franco, what do you have as what notes do you have on Sassuolo Inter? Dzeko. Again, he's no Mandzukic, like you want to make fun, but he gets the job done. Lukaku's out, and he does it.
He does. These are games that Dzeko loves to play, and I actually feel bad for him that he wasted so many years at Roma because he is still a really good striker, and in his prime he probably deserved to be on a better team. But we watched this one like prepping for the event, so we had one eye on it. Even Florenzi was watching it intently just to see what happened. When they made it 1-1, it was a tight game. Sassuolo hung in there. Yeah. Unfortunately, I think Inter deserved the victory. Dzeko gets you 2 big goals. There's nothing really to discuss there. They won. You win marginally, but you won.
They got the job done. And the same thing. I don't know if you were able to watch.
I was shocked at the bar when we first got there. The game, I was ordering my sandwich, and some Inter fan was complaining about Dzeko, and then the owner of the bar is a Juventino. He's like, he scored 2 goals. Yeah, but they were just tap-ins. Okay, but he scored 2 goals. So I don't get the hate for Dzeko. I think he's their version of Giroud, and I agree he wasted some years at Roma, but excellent striker, gets the job done. He's filling in huge shoes for Lukaku. So
against
teams
like
after that
result,
result they got against the result they got against Barcelona, they're going to go on a bit of a roll now. That's huge for them.
Yeah.
And honestly, it's the only time I was kind of happy to see them win because then. You think Calcio has bad implosions when something bad happens, man? Barca Twitter, they went crazy. Wow, they lost their minds. So
if I was Çalhanoğlu, I would probably implode too.
Games. They haven't watched a lot of Champions League. Remember that year against Arsenal where Van Persie got a second yellow for kicking the ball after the whistle, and then they ended up going on to win that game. I mean, they've had favorable
what did they say that tweet? I think I mentioned it a couple of weeks ago. Is like at the Inter Barcelona game, there will be more creditors than spectators. For real. Bologna Sampdoria, guys. I watched this game. I don't know if any guys want to put anything here. Torino Empoli. I was watching, and I was watching a little bit at the end. Empoli's winning 1-0. Matteo Destro, ex-Milan legend, Matteo Destro, scoring, I think, on La Rova shot, and then Torino getting some sort of crazy goal in the end. I don't have anything else to talk about this, but...
I was watching because it ruined my shutout. I put Vicario on nets in my Fantacalcio, and...
We're going to get to the Fantacalcio after, but that's it. Huh? But Jan Franco might not know about this bet, but Jan, because he likes to spend money and he likes to drink, as I do. But he bet me that I already owed him a pitcher of beer because I'd said that Ziyech was going to arrive at Milan before the end of the transfer window, and he bet me back Monza is not even going to get 3 points by the time winter comes. I'm taking that bet, and then people were saying, "Oh, so your pitchers canceled themselves out." One for you and one for me. Yeah. Monza. What do we have to say about Monza? Out of the relegation zone, is this okay? People, put your feet on the ground, but good for them, right? Franco, what do you think?
Monza's not a good team. Monza's not a good team. If you watched, I browsed this game. I kind of skipped through parts of this game. I made it a point because I had 2 players in Fanta in this game, and then I wanted to see if how Maldini played because I saw he ended up playing. Spezia was dreadful. They made Monza look good. Monza's not good, but Spezia was horrendous. They're a mess at the back. They are a mess. The goals that Monza scored, Spezia looked like a Serie C team, not even Serie B team.
3 wins, 9 points out of the relegation zone. Yeah, look, I know they're not a very good team because even Spezia sucked the shit, and I did follow a little bit there, but I have nothing to say because I got a pitcher of beer out of it. But I think yeah, you share Franco's thoughts because you always say like they suck.
They suck. They beat Juve. They also got probably Juve's best midfielder on loan, so maybe that's helping them right now. So Ravel is there. He's a nice compliment to that mid. No,
is he the one? No, there's another
one.
No,
that's Miretti, the one.
Miretti's the
one. I agree with Franco. Monza stinks, but so does Spezia. So that's Spezia a good one.
Bad. Yeah, just really disorganized. Maldini played well though. He came on in the 60th minute. He looked like he bulked up a little bit. He looks a little stronger than he did last year. He's not as scrawny, and he put himself in some good spots. Like I tried to watch him. And where he played a little bit, he was off to the left a little bit. He wasn't always central, and he was receiving balls. I thought he actually did well when he went on.
So a positive take from that one. Salernitana Verona, guys, I did not watch. I know that I think Salernitana won it in the last minutes, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, they scored in the 94th.
In the 94th minute, Salernitana Verona. We're playing Verona next week. Jan, anything to add to this game?
Just I know it's not going to be an easy game against Verona. They're always a tough opponent. So
it's
looking
bad.
forward to it. They have some nice players.
It's bad. It's bad that we're afraid more of Verona than Juventus. Think about that, right? Juventus will give in.
Yeah. They have better ideas, so it's basically why. I mean, again,
this game I watched. Wow, what a game! Wow, what a game! Best game of the week. Yes, Frank, I'm going to agree with you on that one. I don't know why, guys. Even at 2-0 Atalanta, as soon as the second half started and I saw Udinese going, as soon as they scored that 2-1, okay, this is going to go. And they kept at it and they kept. I don't know what it is about Udinese this year. Are we the only team that beat them so far? I believe so. But what an entertainment game, Frank. What do your notes say about this game?
No, you know what I liked about this game overall is the scenery. So you have a newly renovated Friuli, whatever it's called now, Dacia Arena, right? Full because the team is performing well. It's a completely full stadium, nice sunny day. This is what people need to see when they watch Serie A. An entertaining game with a full stadium, with no track around it. The crowd is right up to the field with no fencing, nothing. Everybody's behaving themselves in the crowd. Everybody's into it, and then on top of it, you end up getting a really, really entertaining game. I thought Atalanta could have run away with this game in the first half. They were dominating in the first half. Lookman is a really good player.
Yeah, I was going to say that. I think Atalanta, they got another one.
And at the beginning of the season, I didn't think that Lookman. Hey, finally.
I got it, guys. I got it. Sorry.
I didn't think Lookman and Muriel would be good together. I thought it had to be one or the other, and they link up awesome.
Did he get a yellow card for doing this?
I saw that on Twitter. I didn't see it in the highlights, but I saw it.
I was watching it. Then they got like Muriel with that goal. But Jan, how about you, man? Like game of the week? I think you got to agree with Frank on this one.
I was very happy because I made a last-minute change and put in that kid Pereira and from Udinese in my Fanta Calcio lineup, and it helped me beat fellow Milan club member Christian Bellini this week in our matchup because he scored the equalizer. But Lookman is one guy I regret not putting a little coin on in Fanta, and he looks serious. So, I'm not a fan of Gasperini. I am a fan of Atalanta and what they do. Good for them. I'm happy for them, and I'm happy for the league that these two teams are still giving some exciting results. I know
Definitely
it's only match day 9.
Results.
I don't want to be a Napoli fan about it, but
look at these points.
Match day 9. Yeah,
look at these
good.
Points.
Look at that top over there, all the way. I mean, the top 6. Inter's still not out of it.
No, definitely not. But I'll leave it to a Milanista when Cremonese ties it up with Napoli, and we're like, guys, it's happening. It's happening. We have that little bit of faith. Franco, tell me the truth. Did you have a little bit of faith? You were like, why are they playing with my feelings?
No, Napoli's way too lights out right now. It's Cremonese. It's not like it's a mid-table team where you're like, okay, maybe they could do it like Sassuolo or something. It's Cremonese. So no, I did not. The only thing I did not, the penalty given in this game. I'm not going to blame the result of this game on the penalty because I think Napoli wins it regardless. Yeah. But the penalty is embarrassingly atrocious from the officials.
Yeah,
especially a team that doesn't need it.
Back and forth with Art Morelli on Napoli Twitter over there, and good guy and everything, but he was just using angles that I don't know. Like it looked like the Orwell shots there when JFK got shot there. I don't know where he got this footage from, but regardless, like I told him at the end of our little convo, I'm like, look, man, you didn't need that penalty to win. Napoli was lights out again, but they've played the bottom half of the league right now. People have to put that into perspective. They haven't really played. Besides us, and they played Lazio. Yeah. They haven't really played anyone else from the top over there. So it's going to be interesting how Napoli, for me, it's always in their head. They've always had good teams.
They always did. It's in their head, so right?
They're kind of like my Maple Leafs. You always dip at the wrong time. So we'll see. We'll see how they go.
By the way, you're speaking of your Maple Leafs. Like, what the fuck? The Blue Jays had Austin Matthews in the stadium, and they
threw the curse to them. You see, he threw the curse to them.
He threw a curse to. So they lost a 8-run lead.
I don't watch baseball. I don't know.
Facebook Frank, I'm sorry to anybody in Toronto that was completely atrocious. So basically, you got to blame Austin Matthews from the Toronto Maple Leafs. Okay, guys, Roma, campioni d'Europa. Roma.
This is where a bad penalty caught.
Aspetta, you know what? They deserve it. Adesso andiamo direttamente alla Roma, ci sta il rigore per la Roma. Franco, Dybala scoring on this one is another case of Roma doesn't need a penalty, should be beating Lecce very easily. What would you take away from this game?
It should have been 4-0 in the first half. Roma, they Lecce's goalie was very good. What's his name? Falcone, right? Is that him?
Yeah,
he made some 6 saves, but Roma dominated in the first half. They should have put it away. They didn't. They let Lecce hang around. Strefezza scored. I think he's been Lecce's best player this season. I think he's really good. A nice goal by Smalling at the beginning of the game. Unlike Milan, Roma is actually very dangerous on corner kicks. Even though we scored on a corner kick this weekend, it was messy, but we'll take it.
Was it on a corner kick? Let's end this debate, guys. Was it on a corner kick?
Yes, because the corner kick starts the azione. Yeah. So, yes. Like, it's not a direct header like the Smalling goal, which was gorgeous. But, yes, we scored.
So, in the position that we are right now, we'll take it. So, it's a goal on a corner. Okay.
100%.
Yeah,
and unlike me, Roma's dangerous.
I'm taking it. Kicks. I'm taking it. I think before shooting that, I think I spoke to Milan legends. I'm like, when's the last time we scored from a corner? When like Zapata scored against Inter? Like, that's I don't remember the last time we scored from a corner.
He's very enthusiastic, legends, huh? He's very he lets it all out. But yes,
he smacked us so hard when we almost scored.
And Lecce was in 10 men from like the 24th minute on. They went to VAR, and they threw their captain out, and then they still tied it.
The poetic thing about that terrible penalty, and it's unfortunate because I don't like wishing injuries on anybody, is that Dybala scores on a penalty that shouldn't have happened, and poor guy, I don't know, he's out now until what, January? He's having such a great year, man. I feel bad for the guy. I think
What
like
happened
this
to him? I didn't see
guy's
anything.
career has been derailed by
He's out, Dybala.
unfortunate events. He's out until January. Yeah.
Yeah, he hurt himself on the kick. This
yeah.
kid is made of glass. That's the risk you run with buying a player like that. You know, now they got to deal with that.
Imagine Argentina wins the World Cup and he misses it.
Wow.
I mean, they have a chance at it. Poor guy. You know, it's gonna be something. Poor guy.
Fiorentina sucks. It's like I was watching today, guys, a little bit. It's like Jesus Christ, Fiorentina. This coach is not mangiando panettone, Franco. Definitely not. Rocco
Utsuroko is going to send this guy Utsapa. So
yeah, Lazio's good, but shouldn't be beating Fiorentina for nothing, man.
No, I didn't watch this game. Unfortunately, I didn't for my blood pressure because I have Fiorentina's goalie, not for long, Infanta.
Oh, poor you.
So you know, I'm gonna go shopping for literally anybody else at this point in time.
Yeah, and I don't know if you were able to watch it or but I was just watching.
I just wanted to say something about Juve got rid of a coach like Sarri because he wasn't that Juve. He couldn't play their style. He's a good coach, man. And he's showing it again with this Lazio team that they finally spent some money this summer. They got him a few more players. I think Romagnoli's helping stabilize that back line, and I'm happy for Alessio because it's what he deserves after all those years with us. He won a Scudetto, and he got to go play for his boyhood club. So I'm happy for him. And I'm happy for Sarri, and I'm happy for the few Laziales that I know because good on them. They're
3 games
good.
in a row, 4-0. That's
true. 4-0. They're scoring. The team is firing on all cylinders, and it's just going to make it for a more interesting title race. So good on them.
You know, we're looking at all these days upcoming, right? So whether it be Verona, Monza, Torino, then we're going to the Champions League. People want to talk about, okay, we don't have any big opponents. Shut the fuck up. There's no such thing as a small opponent.
Torino's not an easy opponent.
Definitely not. But we need to finish. We need to finish this season on a strong note, and it all starts with tomorrow. Franco, how are you going to be watching from work? From no watching? You're going to stay away from Twitter, from social media?
Yeah, I'm a teacher, and then I coach after school. So. You know, I can never make it where I'm like, oh, don't tell me the result and whatever. Like, there's always too much going on my phone where it's impossible not to find out the result. I'll know the result, and then I'll watch at 11 o'clock tomorrow night, unfortunately.
On a side note, I know I did my rant about notifications to off your fucking phones, but Stevie P says, Sergio has the Apple Watch. It was sitting next to him, right? Our friends at Manscaped, and he saw that they had scored. He's like, you know what? I took it to my advantage. Even Sergio didn't say a word because it's uno di noi, and he's like, I'm gonna record us, the reaction when we score. So I'm like, okay. So he put it to good use. Yeah, and are you gonna be able to watch tomorrow?
This will be at the corner of my home desk, and I will have the game on. And just don't tell my boss. That's all.
You just work for the government. What are they gonna do? Right? Guys, before we get into Patreon questions. Manmade, our friends, take a look. They were on Dragon's Den. Congratulations to them. Take a look at the website. They're on our comments. Guys, you smell like a man.
It's lovely.
It is lovely, is it not?
It's lovely. Yes. Lovely.
Like even just the box. Even the box smells lovely because I've been using it. Immutante. Guys, I've washed them. It's got to be at least 7 to 8 cycles I've washed them. The material, the socks, and
socks
honestly,
are best.
You can't go wrong, guys. Take a look at any on their website. They have now the T-shirt is up, the soap, the boxers. They have these kits. They do ship to the United States. They ship to Canada. Our friends, and if you use the link, Steve had said that they're gonna sprinkle a little Milan dust on the gift. So Frank, se te bisogna una bella barra di mutande, keep you nice and fit. You know where to look. Manmade, guys. Manmade. Now, Patreon, right? 57, guys. 57 members of Patreon. Such a humbling experience. We had even last week, Andon from Macedonia took a 24-hour bus ride to go to San Siro to watch the game. These are fans, right? Those, and I love this community that we have. And I think a lot of the guys were saying that they pay the $3 US a month just for the WhatsApp group. And the only, Jan, remind me, I got to put you into the WhatsApp group. Even you are an intern, so you get one of these perks. That's part of your deal.
Don't do it.
The most, Franco, you have to admit, it's non-toxic. It's a not Milan Club Montreal. We have some toxic conversations sometimes in there, the negativity. Franco, it's because you have too many high standards. But it's not bad. It's not bad. It's a big community. But even Franco, one of the original Patreon members, Jan, I'm just going to put you into the group. That's the way it's going to work. All right. But on Patreon, we have Shane O'Brien saying, do you think we can beat Chelsea if we bring the same performance that we did against the Juve chaps? I said the Juve chumps. Beat them. I know we spoke about it. I said it before, guys. I don't think to beat them, I think it would have to be a Chelsea lackluster performance. And guys, I'm a Milanista heart to heart, but I need to be realistic. For us to beat them, what do you say, Jan? Is it just maybe like
the way, like Gio reminded me in our chat at the beginning of the Champions League with our full roster? I think we were going to beat Chelsea. You're missing guys. Mania is a very important part of our team. The way he structures us from the back, the way he sees the game, the way he makes. Look, I love Tata Rusano. He does the job. But there's even that goal against Empoli. That one there, Mania is saving it. You know what I mean? It's a 3-0 win. So a full roster, I don't think we would have. I think we would beat them, and I would be, okay in saying that. If we, like I said at the beginning, we go in with this roster, we go in with this mentality, we have better chances of getting a result. Are we going to get a result? We'll see what they do on the field. At the end of the day, we're still missing some key players, and I think if we do get a tie, it'll be even a better boost for us to continue the rest of the season until the World Cup brings. So I hope we do. Just can't say for sure.
The ball is round, Franco. The Chelsea win over the weekend, what are they coming off on? I don't know if they let me check while you answer. Franco, do you think it's more of if we would have to win, is it more like Chelsea really sucking or us having a masterclass?
Us having a masterclass, especially with the dilapidated roster.
Definitely. And let me
3-0 win, Vinny.
3-0 win Chelsea. They can manage. So, but again, guys, Chelsea need this win as well. They need a result because with the upcoming games that they have, and they want to pass the Champions League. But guys, we'll keep our keep the fate for tomorrow. And we even had Paul from he just sent me a message from the Chelsea group from Burgundy Lions. I'll see you tomorrow. Yes, sir. I will see you tomorrow, brother. David saying, trying to be positive with this win over Juve, but if we come out with the same performance against Chelsea, then we will be beaten again. Juve just didn't show up. My question is, do you think that the sell of Leao, we would be able to fix all of these team problems? Right wing, striker, attacking midfield, and obviously we would need another left wing. What say you? I don't think selling 150 would fix all the problems.
If you're playing football manager, yeah, you sell one player and you're going to buy a bunch. It's hard to integrate guys. Like, man, it's really hard. I don't want to say anything bad about the question, who asked the question, but it's not easy to integrate players. It just isn't. So I don't know, like, what fantasy land they're living on. It takes guys
David,
time to
David, he likes that fantasy kind of. But
it's fine.
To answer the question, to Chocharo's on Langelier, Google it. Chocharo's Sports Bar. We will be there tomorrow at 3:00, and it is our home field. It's hard to It's hard. So what would they do with 150 million? They wouldn't buy 7 players. I think they would buy maybe. I don't see them. Franco, would you see them? I think if it was Berlusconi era, they would pocket that 150 million. Are they not going to spend 150? If they would sell them for 150, they will maybe buy. I don't see a CDK. They will maybe go buy 2 players at 20 million to say maybe they're capable. I'm not sure. What would you?
Yeah, they're not going and turning over a full 150 million, especially with the current plan and the current project and the way things have been, and it doesn't seem like it's going to change drastically anytime soon. I don't think they would reinvest 150 right away. And I don't even know if they would be allowed. Based on and also
what people overlook a lot of the times, and you need Presidente on here with his spreadsheets, is 150 mil. You buy a guy, let's say, at 40 mil. You have to factor in on top of that. You're signing him what like salary per year. Mm-hmm. So yeah, you're not going to factor the whole salary into that 150 mil. but you're going to factor in at least another 5-6 if he's a top player. Then you have to factor in with what you have left. I got to give raises to Teo. I got to give raises to all these other guys because I don't know if you saw the graphic of our salary compared to what Juve players are being paid. A good portion of our roster is being paid below Rugani right now. So if you get 150 million for Leao, I think you're buying one young guy to replace him, maybe another guy on the right, and you're giving a bunch of raises to the other guys so that they stay. So
that's a good one. Yeah,
it's I understand where the question's coming from, but you have to take a step back and look at it as these are no longer the years of Berlusconi. Yeah. These are no longer
King
the years where you can just
King Krunic, you give him 8 million a year. King Krunic, minimum. King Krunic.
Hey, don't. I love the guy, man. The guy does his job. So
he does his job.
Just to answer the question, like it's really hard to say that, man. Like we're not professionals, and we don't know.
Nor do we pretend to be.
Yeah, it's tough. I just don't see it.
Khaled said, after Brahim's performance yesterday, do you think Pioli will count on him as a starter in the next games left before the World Cup break? I don't think he has a choice, guys. Exactly. Franco, what do you say? He has to. Right. CDK looks like he's going to be out for a couple of weeks?
Right. So now he's injured. But I think even, let's just say, this question was asked before we found out about CDK's injury. I would still say I would hope that he goes with the player that is in better form.
You can't put in Messias at this point, right? After the game that he had against Juventus, you got to put him on the right. Diaz. Messias. You can't
CDK is hurt. I think Brahim takes the CAM role and Messias comes back.
No, but even if CDK, like Franco was saying, if CDK wasn't hurt after the game that he played on the right side, Diaz, you can't bring in Messias. Right. You have to keep him on the right.
Yeah, at least another game. I think so.
Now we're gonna see. Some people were talking on Twitter, like now you talk about guys against the EPL, guys are much taller, maybe much physically stronger. We'll see what the Diaz from there, but. Yeah, definitely to your question, Khaled, is definitely going to rely on him. That's our opinions, obviously. Ryan Percy, hey guys, wow, what a much better performance for Milan. I know the Juve had a lot of issues, but I think given our injury situation, I'm glad Pioli slightly tweaked the formation to put players in their most comfortable positions. I'm very excited that Brahim is finally given a chance on the right wing. While I don't think he is amazing there, he's the best we got at the moment. I think he should get more chances there, not to mention getting Theo back, moving Kalulu onto the right side. My main question, I have been very impressed with Napoli in their play, as everyone else. I think they are great, but I don't think they are that much better than Milan. One massive difference is that they are much better at converting their chances when they get them. What do you think that is? Is it coaching or is it just lack of talent by the players that we have? That's a good question. Is it... I'm going to throw it to you, Franco, first. We saw when we played Napoli, right? They converted their chances. They had 2 chances. They converted. Great goal on the second one by Simeone, but what do you think the difference is there from them able to finish those chances and compared to us?
That's such a hard question to answer. I really...
Do you see them even keeping this up?
No, I'm with Jan on that one. I fully expect the dip. Obviously, for selfish reasons as a Milan fan, but I expect the dip at some point. But when you're firing on all cylinders, confidence takes you a long way. We're
the perfect proof of that.
You play with swagger. You're not. Like in hockey, they use the term, squeezing the stick. You're not squeezing the proverbial stick. You're not trying too hard to make a play. You're playing the way you know how to play. You're playing the way that got you to the level of being a Serie A soccer player. I mean,
they're making.
I don't think that we're not capable of doing that. I think we end up with interruptions in terms of injuries and stuff. Like we were just talking about the Chelsea game with a full roster. It's a different story. So
no, you're right. They're making the Cedar Awards because Steve and I both agreed at the beginning of the season that we didn't see Napoli finishing top 4, especially with all the changes. We can say it when we're wrong. So far, we are wrong. But again, I turned around and said, guys, there was a year Inter won 10 wins, no losses. They won the first 10 games, and they still didn't win the Scudetto that year. So, Jan, do you think it's them just being on the right path and, just scoring on all cylinders? Or for us, I think it's just some fine tweaking because it just seems like even against Chelsea at the end of the first half, what did Krunic miss at that, like that open net? It just seems like we're just missing that little edge. I don't know. Lady Luck.
I was at the Napoli game in Milan. I think we hit 2 crossbars.
Mm-hmm.
Put that in. That's a 3-2 win. They had 2 chances. Like, Franco made the hockey analogy. Shooting percentage in hockey is a real thing. When you're hitting over 14% as a professional hockey player, everyone knows you're going to dip at some point. It's impossible to be shooting at that percentage. They put a lot of balls on net, so I don't think their percentage is very high. But the moment that they stop putting as many balls on net, they're going to be scoring. I mean, it's just simple math. You're not going to be able to put that output out on a constant basis over 34 games with the World Cup break and injuries that happen. So they've been favorable with their roster, with their lineup, and with the schedule that they've been given. But you have to win those games, and they've been winning those games. You can't take anything away from them.
Definitely.
Let's see when it gets tougher for them. Let's see when they get some injuries. Let's see when they get some adversity. Last year, when they got some injuries, they dipped a bit, which was normal. They missed out on some big players. This year could be the same. Like, Milan dips a bit also. Like, it's.
And if they continue playing this way, kudos to them. Like, you'll show
and
that you have that.
I would much rather see Napoli win the Scudetto than seeing a second star in Inter's jersey. So if I have to eat my words and they win, and we have to all send flowers to Philadelphia to Azzurri fan Phil, we'll all do it. You know what I mean? Because I'd rather see them win than Inter. And I would be happy for a lot of old Napolitans that I know over here. But at the end of the day, like Franco, it's a marathon, man. Let's just everyone relax. Even now, Milan being over there, let's relax. We're 3 points behind. But you have a few bad games. You go down 12 points behind. You never know what could happen. 1 year, remember, Juve was 17 points behind first place. They ended up winning the title.
Right.
It's anything can happen. So it's far too early to say, but kudos to Napoli. They proved all the haters wrong. They proved us wrong. They're winning. They're playing
again,
well.
it's been
doing well.
9 games, guys. It's been 9 games.
Exactly. They played well in Champions League too, but let's look at that Liverpool game again. If you watch it again, Liverpool looks like
Liverpool sucked the shit, man.
They didn't even look like they were playing the game, but Napoli took advantage of that, and they made them pay. And they scored a lot of goals, so good for them. So I'm going to give them props for that. So.
Fabio saying, hey, boys, I just wanted to say I was very happy with the outcome of Saturday's game, but just we're not strong. Juve were just not strong. They are not in form. Allegri should stay his full contract to give him the real taste of the banter era. I was impressed that our defense with Gabbia and there kept a clean sheet. If we can grab a point and keep Chelsea from scoring, that would be a major step in the right direction. Do you think that they start Gabbia on Tuesday, or do we go Dest again at right back? All the best. You were missed Saturday. Missed you guys too. Is there a chance Franco Dest makes an appearance because of the Champions League, starting the selected players?
No, just from a psychological standpoint, I think.
Yeah.
From his psychological standpoint and his teammates, I think you can ill afford to start him.
Probably gonna go with the same maybe starting lineup. And you agree, right? Dest.
Yeah, same starting lineup. There was one guy that came on late, Frank. I like his little
Vortex
playing with the. Yeah, he was playing I don't know. The whistle blew. He did a little spinorama around the guy. I liked his little. I don't know if I would. The only maybe change would be like Pobega. To me, he played a decent role. He was. I think I saw the worst completed passes all season for any player from Milan. There's an issue there. I think he's overcompensating. Kind of reminds him when Tonali first came to us, trying to do too much, and you can see that he's a Milanista at heart and he wants to do well. But give Rank a try. Is he even on a Champions League list? This is what the part that confuses me. We have so many guys that are not part of the list.
I think he is.
Part of the list.
I think he is.
So I would give him a shot. Stay with the same formation.
The peanut gallery is going to tell us if he is. They're going to correct us.
And Gabbia's earned it, guys. Let's give this kid a chance. Enough with I don't trust Gabbia. He's a loser. Let's give the kid a chance. He's a homegrown talent. He fills a spot for us that's very important in Champions League.
Yeah.
We need homegrown talents. We need Italians. So.
Franco's checking. Vincenzo saying it. Oh, he is?
He wasn't on the bench last week, so I don't know.
So maybe he's not part of the list. A lot of those guys that we added late, like even Tia, I think they're just long-term projects, these guys.
Vinny Mancini.
But I like to see more of Rank. I don't know why. There's
Vortex.
About that spin around.
Vortex on the next
has to come. And Pobega, he needs to earn it a bit more. But I like the kid. No, nothing against him.
Vinny Mancini says, evening, guys. Can Diaz stop taking off his shirt and holding it up like he is Milan's newfound Kaká? His first goal versus Udinese back in August was celebrated the exact same way. He does not really have the right to be doing that, in my opinion. Plus, the yellow card we're already hurting for subs was just dumb. Now, don't get me wrong, he played a good game with a beautiful solo goal, but some of the shit this guy does just makes my blood boil. Keep up the great job. I have to agree with Vinny on this one. I didn't get the. I think it was the excitement from the goal, but Franco, thinking back, do you have a problem with him taking off his shirt? You know you're getting it, and he said he's like, I tried to do it last time, and Calabria stopped me from taking off my shirt. Do you have a problem with him taking off his shirt?
No, if you've ever been in a competitive situation, sometimes instinct takes over. They should absolutely get rid of this stupid rule.
That's such a stupid rule.
But they're never going to get rid of it now because now sponsors have even more power. I was actually having this conversation. I was rewatching the game and I had this conversation with my wife. I'm like, they're never going to get rid of this rule now because if you score the biggest goal of the season, Puma and Emirates want that freaking logo on the screen. They don't want your stupid hairy chest, or baby chest in terms of Diaz. So I don't have a problem with it personally. I think if you've ever played in any type of competitive game, sometimes adrenaline just takes over. You can't do anything about it.
Thank you, Mark, for the proper spelling of Vortex. It says Double Dragon shows that let Brahim have fun. Jan, guys, let Brahim have fun. If he gets a yellow card in the next game and we have injuries, nobody's going to say let's have some fun. Nothing against you, Double Dragon show. But
Vinny's he's allowed his opinion, and I
of course.
It's fine that you're upset with the guy, but like Franco said, the guys, he wanted to celebrate like that. He wanted to celebrate like that. If he gets another yellow, then you can say you to Ushen. But get back to Franco's point. What if the player tattoos Puma and Emirates on his chest? Then there shouldn't be a problem, right? You take it off.
Then you can't sell him.
You can't sell him after. You can sell him to City or one of those other teams. Huh?
So, Vinny, I agree with you, but I get the arguments on the other side. Fade to Black says, what a great day Saturday. First off, props and credit to Milan Club New York and Franco for, I think this is Brandon, guys, helping with the event. Everyone from the 4040 Club to Rock Nation to Milan reps like Peter Morgan and Florenzi. It was great to finally meet Franco and Fabio, as well as Martino and Matt and his brother. Win was icing on the cake. Everything was well worth the trip. Fabio was telling everybody left and right about Milan Weekly Podcast as well. The only thing missing was Presidente, Vinny, and Stevie, but you guys were with us in spirit. My question is, do you think Diaz could play right wing more often? Been thinking of this for a good while, and was glad to see Pioli try something different. Anything till January, and then we need a right wing. I guess if he performs tomorrow and he puts him at right wing, I guess you try him out until Salamaker's not coming back before, right? So you would just have Messias playing behind him. So Is tomorrow maybe do or die? Like, let me see if I could play him here, or do you continue playing him in Serie A?
No, I think you continue playing him in Serie A because it's a different level. You could get away with different things in Serie A. The only thing I will say is that maybe Champions League is more suitable for Diaz's style of play. Like maybe he's more limited in Serie A, whereas in Champions League it's more of like an open play type of thing where perhaps it might be more suitable for him. So I mean, we're gonna find out.
We'll see. How about you, Jan? Do you say tomorrow's the let's try him out, and if he does good, or if not, keep on trying him until
let the kid go, and if he scores another goal, he can take his shirt off. It won't affect the other yellow card. So let him go, man. Let him play. He's earned it. I think it's very much what have you done for me lately? And if you're performing and you scored a goal and you scored a nice goal, you got to get another shot. I mean, it wouldn't make sense to me to not have him there.
Big shout out to Brandon for coming, by the way. We really appreciate people who traveled and stuff. And he mentioned like Milan's team and stuff, like Peter Morgan and all the people that came with Milan. Peter Morgan got a bigger cheer at the event than Florenzi did.
Wow.
Like that's how much of an impact this person has had on the club and the brand. And I think he deserves credit. He's one of the nicest people I've ever met. And
there's been a lot of good things he's done for all the clubs. We're not where we want, but he's done a lot of improvement. If we got to look at ourselves 3-4 years ago, Franco.
Yeah, he's all ears, man. He knows exactly what the issue is. He's missing the resources as was mentioned in our chat. Just real quick, I also want to mention Francesca Scarpa. She's another person. She's Milan's head of brand, and just watching her work on the day of the event and just making sure that the event went the way like everybody wanted it to. This woman is another asset for Milan. She's phenomenal. So kudos to her too. Milan brought some really nice people to look over this event.
Now, I know, Franco, yeah, you wanted to come on. I invited you for the event, but you wanted to be for Busted Calcio tweets and to see what Jan. It's already an hour and 10 minutes we're in here. So let's see. Jan, you don't have too many, so we should be.
I got a few. I found a few after. I think Martino had quote tweeted someone. We got Gazzetta dello Sport in there with
okay, so
Madness Society a bit early. So yeah.
And I got after this because then I have to go put the timestamps on the podcast because if I don't get them done by 5 o'clock tomorrow morning, President is gonna So busted tweets. Franco, welcome to your first ever busted tweets. Jan, what did you give us behind door number one?
This is an old tweet, but it was sent to me about 4 or 5 times. So I figured it's a good time to revisit this one. Wilson, Juve, Nelson 7. This was tweeted right near the, I would say, later half of the Mercato when they had just gotten Paredes or something.
Yes,
and Juve Nation had all taken a Viagra and they were erect as if they were going to come back and storm in with Platini on the field or something. So let's just go back and look at this. Vlahovic over Giroud. I don't think I have a problem with that, except right now Giroud is more informed. So that's wrong. Chiesa equals Leao. I am of Italian heritage. I'm Italian. Chiesa has never even scored 10 goals in the league. Let's get out of here. Leao is an MVP. He's just a talent that Chiesa is never going to be. Di Maria over CDK. Now,
how are they even the same player, same position?
Maybe in form, but as far as potential, CDK has a lot of potential. Di Maria has had a very good career, but that's just a stupid comparison to me, in my opinion. Pogba over Adli.
No, really.
Never played, obviously, Pogba, but I don't know. Ever since the voodoo stuff came out, Pogba hasn't been doing too well. Neither has Adli, but I have confidence in this kid. He has something. I think we're going to unlock it in the new year. Tonali equals Locatelli.
You know what? Hold on. Hold on right there. You know what? Now I'm going to say my piece. Now I'm going to fucking say my piece. Where do these people come from? Not just this fucking tweet. Since Locatelli left Milan, how is this player regarded as one of the best fucking midfielders in Italy? What the fuck has he done, Locatelli? Because he was good at Sassuolo? What the fuck did he do at Juventus? No, you know what? Fuck everybody. Fuck everybody with Locatelli. He's a good player, but don't make me fucking think that he's the next coming of fucking Christ, okay? And I'm not saying that Tonali is the next coming of Christ, but stop talking about the Locatelli like he's God knows what. Please, Jesus fucking Christ.
For the Italian national team, Locatelli doesn't even start because it's Verratti, there's Tonali, there's Pellegrini. I don't see Locatelli making a start over there. So I don't know how they're equal.
I just don't get it. I just don't fucking get it.
Listen,
Franco, am I crazy?
No, whether this is a troll or not, the work
not
ethic,
just relating to this tweet, it's just people in general.
Yes, the work rate of between the two players in Saturday's game is all you need to know.
Exactly.
The work rate between the two players compared side by side is all you need to know. Tonali is a horse. He is a horse. He will run you into the ground. And Locatelli is a baby. Yeah. He's a wuss.
Yeah, because he didn't want to compete against Lucas Biglia, so he asked for a transfer. That's the type of player that you're putting on the same level.
Yeah, he scored one big goal, and he was supposed to be
great
the
goal.
man.
Thank you again.
Tonali took a pay cut, understanding his situation, understanding the team situation, putting the team first. This guy here didn't want to go and compete against the Finnish player.
Fuck you. The Bambino Milanista. Fuck you. I'm getting pissed off with this fucking tweet.
I don't know. Benacer, to me, is a great midfielder. He's not SMS. He's a great midfielder. Paredes barely played at PSG. I don't get that. Okay, Teo over Alexandro. That's a no-brainer. Bremer over Tomori. At the beginning, I can see how this was there because Bremer was voted, best defender of the league last year. But I would put them more as on an equal, both of them. Kalulu over Gatti. I don't even know Gatti played a game yet. Quadrado over Calabria. I would put them as equals again. I love Calabria for being a Milanista and all that. I actually think Quadrado probably has better crossing ability. And Magna over Tech. One of the comments underneath here was, if you got it wrong, Tech is better than Magna. And I didn't put it there, but it's like... So the delusion of the Juventini, I think a lot of Milan fans sent this to me because we have to revisit this. It's not even that old, from August 5th. It's not looking good, Wilson. I'm sorry.
At Juve,
but,
Nelson 7. Yeah. Okay.
it's not looking good.
Now you're gonna get me pissed off a bit more. Well, what's the next one? Erling Haaland is what Zlatan thinks he always was at GP for soccer.
We should send this to Nima and John and Carlo, because this is clearly Prem face of the week. They're not the same player.
He's an animal. He's an alien. I'm going to give him
Haaland
that.
is an incredible talent. What Zlatan has done across his career, though, is just speaks for itself. Like, what did Zlatan ever do to you that you have to start? Well, like, okay, so he scored a couple of hat tricks. He's scoring in the EPL. I just don't like this tweet from a perspective of John Parker doesn't seem to really understand what Zlatan did and what he's accomplished.
And he's 41 years old.
And he was always in the shadows of Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo. Let's just put it out there.
That's true.
And I'm not saying Zlatan is as good as those two, but you're playing at a time where two of some of the greatest footballers that the world has ever seen was around, and you still made a name for yourself. You still won everywhere you went. Erling Haaland,
Brazilian
love
Ronaldo.
the kid. There's no need for this type of comparison. You're just throwing shade at a legend. So I don't know. I thought it was very busted on the fact that, I don't know, like, really?
Frank.
You're going to compare Erling to Zlatan right now?
Yeah.
This one's busted.
Well, yeah. Now that Jan puts it that way, like when I first saw it, I'm like, yeah, Haaland is probably one of the best strikers I've ever seen in my life. But like you said, throwing shade at Zlatan for no reason, just because you're a Prem head and you want to jerk off to Haaland, like there's no reason for that. So I'm with Jan on this one.
And I think also what Zlatan did at Manchester United and what he won with them, and then he left and they went back to being insignificant, also speaks volumes for what Zlatan did. What Zlatan did to Milan, I want to see what Erling Haaland's going to do at 40-something years old. Is he going to still be playing?
What Zlatan did
those
to
are
Milan,
things that you have to put.
I'm not saying he's
tough.
the only factor, but he was a factor in Milan.
He was, if you look at the singular moment where things started to really shift, is when he was there. And I don't know if you guys saw, there was a clip from Milan TV. They had a camera on Zlatan. He's a coach in the making, man. That guy, he's talking to the players, there's just something to him.
The way he grabs Lajetic's head. I love that picture. Door number 3. What do we have here? La Gazzetta dello Sport, assalto Milinkovic-Savic, la Juve punto ad averlo a gennaio. So
is this from 2017?
This is from today.
Guys, this is La Gazzetta dello Sport.
This is my nominee for the bust of the week, just because they clearly have no idea of the finances and how math works.
For
you
our
think that
non-Italian
Mr.
people,
Lotito,
please explain in English for our non-Italian listeners.
What the Gazzetta dello Sport is?
No, it means basically they're going. Juventus will be going
Juventus
for
is
Milinkovic.
preparing the assault to have SMS in January. Now, first off, Gazzetta dello Sport should know well enough that Lotito is never going to sell this guy in January, unless an offer of 300 million comes in, which Juve can't afford. Even an offer of 120 million, Juve can't afford. I don't see why Milinkovic-Savic would also agree to a move to a lesser team. If you look at the standings, what am I going to go down and miss out on potential Champions League or Europa League soccer to maybe make Conference League the way it's looking for Juve? But like, I know Steve loves Mercato Madness and I know Presidente hates it. And I'm in between. But just make it believable. It is just recycled tweets over here. Like, you're lazy. It's like, we don't know. It's like, what are you paid for to do these guys?
They said
man?
no,
You're the most popular newspaper.
We offered 110 back in fucking 3-4 years ago, and we said no. Franco, this has got to be busted. So far, this has got to be the busted one of the selection so far.
No, because everything about social media now. Because look, there's not even a link here.
There is. It's below.
Oh, okay. So, but still, so everything is clickbait, but also engagement. Because the more responses that you get on a post, you get more engagement to your page. So companies do this now, like and media outlets do this now just to get a rise out of people. It's like when Cassano says something, or like anytime Paolo Bonoli says something bad about Milan, they publish his quote because they know it's going to get a reaction because people go nuts.
I would have clicked on this to see what did they. Let me see how stupid this article is. And you're right, but no, it's this day and age.
Stupid. The paragraph is, Steve. When you Vinny, when you click on these things, they're not even articles. It's a paragraph.
Yeah.
There's no basis on these.
You know what, Fabio? That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna start doing some clickbait Milan Weekly Podcast. That's what we're gonna do.
See Stevie P in a bikini. There you go. It's gonna generate all the.
Slide number 5. Dr. Devinder. Pioli is a fraud, a man whose brain is fixated in the 80s and the 90s. If only he played 4-3-3, a long list of midfielders could have been better rotated and injuries prevented. Okay.
End the show. Good night, everybody.
Buonasera a tutti. Buonasera. Dr. Devinder.
This just proves to me that doctors study very hard. I don't want to take anything away from this gentleman. I'm pretty sure he's a smart individual. Studied. He has the MD on him. He did a lot of studying. He's probably helps a lot of people every day. The fact that he thinks that Pioli is a fraud after all this time, that he claims he's a Milan fan, first off, that he's fixated in the 80s and 90s, that he only plays a 4-3. If he only played a 4-3, what is 4-3-3? Franco, is that some sort of new formation that all the kids are crazed about? I don't know. Like, what does that make you more modern by playing a 4-3-3?
I don't know.
I don't understand his thing. And our long list of midfielders, we bought 3 of them the last day, Doctor. What are they going to do with these guys?
If you stop playing with 2 6s, 2 CDMs, you're going to get eaten alive in that midfield 4-3-3. First of all, second of all, Pioli's brand of soccer is the exact opposite of 80s and 90s. So I don't understand what this means. This guy is I
can maybe agree with him on a sense that in regards to maybe other leagues, it's not as modern because other leagues have been more modern than the Italian league. But that doesn't matter for Pioli. Pioli is playing in Serie A, and his tactics are very modern for Serie A.
Yes.
And the way that he's getting, and not for nothing, he gets praise from coaches that he's coached against in Champions League. Milan's getting praise for what they're doing from people around the world that have a lot more knowledge on soccer than this doctor. So it's really concerning. And then the thing with, he's replying to Martino. Poor Martino. He gets that verified check mark, and he gets all these free controls from their grandmother's basement that go attack him just because they figure, well, Martino gets a lot of traction. I'm going to get some traction too. I think he should just stick to taking care of his patients, this guy. Stay off the Twitter machine. It's not for you, bro. That's it.
Lupo award for me this week. I don't know what you have done behind door number 6, but let's see. That's all, folks. So I'm sorry, Jan. This one is the Lupo, the busted tweets. Let's take a look back at every single one of them. We had the comparison that got me a little rant. Haaland is what Zlatan thinks he always was. La Gazzetta, which, anyways, no. Dr. Devinder P. Singh, a medical doctor. Devinder, you are getting the Lupo Award of the week. Busted Calcio tweets of the week to tweet it out to our friend Martino. But no, definitely, yeah. This is for me. Franco, do you agree?
Yeah, clear.
Yeah, Jan.
Yeah. You guys convinced me. You turned me over.
Guys, I think this is the first time we're gonna go like almost 90 minutes on a podcast, and if I don't do these timestamps, President is gonna give it to me. Unless President is gonna do it for me, because you saw that tonight he arrived late. Huh? He was out probably apple picking with the kids, Thanksgiving, getting utachino. But guys, I know. Tomorrow, I'm not going to see you. Hopefully, I get a couple of guys. See, there was even a gentleman said from the Ukraine will come and watch Milan at Chocharo's. So hope we get a nice little gathering, even with the Chelsea Club of Montreal. I'll probably be representing the club. Presidente is a busy guy crunching those numbers. But even looking at little Presidente and mini Presidente, I'm like, where are your calculators, guys? Did Papa show you Excel spreadsheets? And they're just looking at me like all weird. They didn't understand what I was saying. Franco, thank you so much for joining us. Again, congratulations on the event. From the pictures, the videos that we've seen, I love, and I think we've mentioned this so many times, not just specifically towards your Milan Club New York or all these events. There is no sense of jealousy, of hate. We are so happy for you when we see these kind of things, whether it be an event in New York, when we see something going on in London with Nesta. And that's what it's all about, this brotherhood and sisterhood of Milan love. And honestly, again, auguri.
No, thank you. And that's really what we try to do. I'm glad that Milan came and got to see it. We even raised money for Fondazione Milan through raffles. So that was like another icing on the cake. We were able to raise, a significant amount of funds. So thank you to everybody who came and supported the event. Thank you for everybody who tried to come and support the event and supported it from afar, because, people who took time out of their day, whether they live 10 minutes away or 10 hours away to come, that's incredible. And whether it's 50 or 550 people, our club, that's really all we try to do is to create an atmosphere where people can be a Milanista with other people. And so thank you to you guys who helped promote it through this medium, and thanks for having me on. So Forza Milan.
A definite pleasure. Jan, thanks for stepping in, and even Franco stepping in to taking care of Steve as he's snoozing away on the what's it called, Franco? The
Tryptophan.
He watched too many of that sign. I remember that Seinfeld episode when he's like they're playing with the toys, and that was the Merv Griffin show. I was like, well, we have a guest for you, Jerry, and he brings out the girl. That was fantastic. The event in New York doesn't have any success without the hard work of Franco and the New York City. That's Presidente throwing you some flowers.
Can I add to that? Because I think it's worth mentioning. People see my face a lot. People think they equate me with, the leader of this club, and in certain ways that is true. But we have a really hardworking committee of a group of about 10 guys in this club that deserve a lot of respect and attention just as much as me. They pay so much attention to detail. They are always willing to help, and our committee really deserves just as much credit, if not more, than me. I'm just a spokesperson.
Awesome. And they're reminding me about Fanta Calcio, so let's just finish it with this. Aspettate un momento. Share screen. I completely forgot. Hang on, they reminded me. If not, Presidente was going to have my head. So what do we have there? I see you guys see the screen?
Gino Vasolino. Justin, he's still flying, man.
768. This year, about 737. Champions of Italy. Any names you recognize here, guys? Frank, where are you at? I thought I saw you.
No, I'm not in this league. I apologize.
Oh, Vincenzo Gattuso's 20.
Vincenzo Gattuso is over there, 697 points. Not bad, guys. Serie A Fantasy. Maybe Presidente is gonna give us he said he's gonna do like campione d'agosto Roma. We're gonna have a campione d'inverno for la Serie A Fantasy. You guys, honestly, thanks for sticking around. We had like 64, 65 live viewers at one point. We will see each other this Wednesday, guys. Obviously, the Coast to Coast boys. Maybe we're gonna see if we could get Paul from Chelsea instead of waiting until like next Monday to talk to him. We'll figure something out. I will let you guys go to bed. I still have half an hour of Raw to watch, guys. The Fiend, the Bray Wyatt came out yesterday. You know what I mean? And he came out all that stuff. Thank God I'm recording. Yes, I'm on mark. Ovunque e sempre, guys.
Forza Milan.
Ciao.